What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Phoenix Suns, and we're going to be talking about why we cannot sleep on the young core of this team, and we're going to jump right into the video. And I think we kind of get caught up in how good the Phoenix Suns play the game of basketball, that before Chris Paul came there, that this was a young team, and they're playing so well this season and last season that they all look like seasoned veterans out there. But the fact of the matter is that aside from Chris Paul, the main core of the Phoenix Suns, all those guys are relatively young when it comes to the game of basketball, and then the rest of the roster is made up of some pretty seasoned veterans. And before Chris Paul arrived to Phoenix, we seen this young core blossoming, and we seen them getting better when they went down into the bubble when they went 8-0, and unfortunately it wasn't enough to get them into the playoffs. But we seen how good that these young guys could be, and now we fast forward to right now. They threw Chris Paul into that team, which I feel like has been very beneficial to them, and I feel like it's taking Devin Booker's game to the next level, and then it's also taking guys like Deandre Ayton, Michael Bridges, Cam Johnson. It's taking those guys' game to the next level. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about how the Phoenix Suns have one of the most underrated young cores in the league. And I think it's because these guys don't play like young players. They all look like seasoned veterans. And if you look at the best player on their team from a talent standpoint, Devin Booker. And Devin Booker, it feels like he's been in the league for a very long time, but he's only 25 years of age. And I feel like you don't start to get into that prime. You don't start to get into your basketball prime until around the age of 27. So I feel like Devin Booker can even improve on his game a little bit more before he reaches prime. But D-Book is only 25, and he looks like a seasoned veteran out there. He has one of the most polished games in the NBA, and he's having a really great season this year. He's putting up 26 points per game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds, and he's shooting 45% from the field and 37% from the three. But Devin Booker, very young guy. We seen when how Chris Paul has affected his game. As soon as Chris Paul landed off his jet, he got Devin Booker into the gym, and they started working on each other's game. And I feel like stuff like that really is really great for young players and then player development. I feel like Devin Booker is going to take what he learned from Chris Paul, and he's going to pour that into the rest of the Phoenix Suns roster. And we see that. We just see their chemistry, and we see their camaraderie out on the court. But Devin Booker is a guy that gets it done. He gets it done on the offensive side of the ball. And then this season as well, since Chris Paul has joined this team, we see Devin Booker give a lot more effort on the defensive side of the ball. He plays really great defense. Whoever he's guarding, he's going to make them work for their buckets, and he gives his efforts on both sides of the court. And D-Book is a guy on the offensive side of the ball, like I said, had one of the most polished games in the league. He can pull up from three. He can catch and shoot the three. He can stop on a dime in the mid-range. And something I love about him is that he's not afraid to go to his offhand. He's not afraid to float it up with his left hand. He's not afraid to go off the glass with his left hand. And he's just a very, very skilled scorer, and he's an assassin. He keeps that stone face the whole game, and he's really unpredictable. You never know what he's feeling or what he's thinking, and that makes him cerebral. So you got Devin Booker, and then also I feel like the Phoenix Suns, they hit the jackpot in the 2018 draft. I know they passed up on Luka Doncic, Trae Young, but Deandre Ayton was what the Phoenix Suns needed at the time, and that was a big man, somebody to anchor the paint on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. And that's exactly what DeAndre Ayton brings. That's exactly what he brings to the table on the offensive side of the ball. We're seeing him become more and more of a post threat. His baby hook is starting to become one of the best in the league. And then also he's starting to venture out his game, shooting the 15-footers, shooting the mid ranges. And DeAndre Ayton, he's having a very solid season. Only 23 years of age. He's putting up 17 and 10 while shooting 64% from the field. But on the defensive side of the ball, he's the anchor. He's a great rim protector, and he's pretty mobile for his size. He's about 7'1", 7'2", 7 feet, somewhere in that range. But he can move his feet really quickly, and we don't really see him get violated in the pick and roll as we see other centers his size. So DeAndre Ayton, he's only 23 years of age. The sky is definitely the limit for him, and he's going to be a very key part of the Phoenix Suns' future moving forward. And I know his contract is up in debate, and I can't come on here and say I know the situation on that, but hopefully him and the Phoenix Suns can work out a deal because him and D Book play so well together. But you got, I feel like you got two future stars. Well, Devin Booker is already a superstar, and Deandre Ayton is an emerging star. So you got those two guys, and then I feel like you have two other valuable utility players, and I would say these guys are a little bit better than utility players. Mikal Bridges, he's only 25 years of age. He's averaging 14 points per game, which is pretty solid, and then he shoots 37% from the three. But like I said, a utility player, but I think Mikal Bridges is a little bit more than that because he kind of gives you all the utilities. And when I say utilities, I mean like players that specialize in one thing, like whether it's a three-point shooter or a defensive guy or rebounders, blocking shots. Mikal Bridges give you a little bit of all those things. On the offensive side of the ball, he's a great catch and shoot shooter. We rarely ever see him miss his wide open attempts, and he's a great cutter when it comes to cutting at the rim and finishing at the rim. He's gotten really good at that since he's came into the league. And then also on the defensive side of the ball, he's made his case for Defensive Player of the Year this year, and he had his moment when the Phoenix Suns were on that crazy winning streak, and he went out there when they were playing the Golden State Warriors, and both teams were kind of hot, and he went out there and locked up Steph Curry. So I feel like Mikal Bridges has put himself on the scene as one of the best young defenders in the NBA, and he's going to be really intricate. He's going to be a really intricate piece of the Phoenix Suns moving forward. And then you have Cam Johnson, who's just like Mikal Bridges, a player that gives you multiple utilities. And I feel like Cam Johnson, just like Devin Booker, his game is really polished as well. Like, he has all the fundamentals. We don't never see him trying to get flashy with the ball. He takes very precise and calculated moves to get his points, whether it's a pump fake, one dribble pull up, just all the fundamental stuff that they teach you in basketball camp when you're a youngin'. I see that when I see Cam Johnson. And also he had his breakout. He had a breakout game against the New York Knicks this season when they came back against those guys, and he went for 38, shooting 9 of 12 from the three. And I always say this in every Phoenix Suns video I make. Go look at the very first one I made on the Suns. I always say it seems like Cam, whenever, especially last year in the playoffs, whenever I watched him, and then feel like he missed his wide open jump shots, and that's really great when you can have a guy that you can depend on like that. That's such a dynamic shooter. So with all that being said, the Phoenix Suns, they have some really good young core pieces, and then they also can build on that with guys that they already have on the roster, like Aaron Holiday, who's only 25 years of age. We see him this season with Chris Paul, with him being out for this small period of time, who I heard can come back tonight. Tonight against I forgot who they play tonight, but Chris Paul can make his return tonight against the Timberwolves. But Aaron Holiday, he's been solid in the role he's been assigned with Chris Paul getting down, whether it's setting other guys up, scoring the basketball, playing defense. Cam Payne, who's kind of in between that range of a young guy and a vet. He's 27 years old, so he has a lot of basketball left in him. And we see how solid he's been playing since Chris Paul is out. And we can see he's been in the lab with him because he's been averaging 9-10 assists since coming into the starting lineup. You got guys like Landry Shamet, that's only 25 years of age, who I think could find himself with the Phoenix Suns for a couple of more years, because he's a guy that he's a cold-blooded three-point shooter. He's going to take his shots no matter what, whether he's hitting or missing, and he's not afraid of the moment. So the Phoenix Suns, we see them play some really great basketball. They don't seem like they're like the main core of their team is young, because they all look like seasoned vets out there. But aside from guys like Chris Paul, JaVale McGee, Jay Crowder, all the other guys are relatively young. So I just want to touch on that with the Phoenix Suns, that they have a really underrated future in this league, and they're going to be a problem for years to come. And that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoy, leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.